Welcome to today's episode of Authors Learning Something New. On today's episode, we have Paul Delaross, award-winning voice actor and audiobook narrator of Epic and Kimura. Welcome to another episode of Authors Learning Something New. Today we have Paul Delaross, the voice narrator of Epic and Kimura. And I'm your host, Rick Tabor, author of Children of the Scroll. Paul, thanks for being on the show today, all the way in England there. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, well, my name's Paul Delaross. I'm based in Halifax, which is the easiest way to explain that from people that are not in the UK is it's between Leeds and Manchester. So most people can sort of work out where it is, right in the middle of that. I'm a full-time voice actor, and I've been full-time for probably 8 years now. I've been on stage since I was probably about 12. So I've always been a little bit of a show-off, but found my niche with voice acting a while back. Still work on stage every now and again, doing a comedy Bavarian umpire show, which is a whole other podcast in itself. But we'll
Oh,
stick with
wow.
the voice acting side of it for today. Yeah, I've narrated quite a few books now, but the latest one I did was Epic and Kimura for a guy from Canada called Robert Cummins. And I got nominated and shortlisted at the One Voice Awards for Best Narrator for a fiction audiobook, along with other awards I was up for.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
I've won a
Awards
couple.
Definitely help your career along, don't they?
They open a few doors along the
Yeah,
way.
exactly. Make some connections while you're at the award ceremony, right?
Uh, yeah, there's some great people there. The voiceover community it's so different to the acting community. They kind of everybody will recommend other people if they think they're good for jobs, and I've always recommended other people as well. So we sort of kind of help each other out. So that's the way.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
So, what part of narrating a novel do you think would surprise a typical author who sits at his computer all day long?
Um, Probably the preparation that goes into narrating a book. Whenever I've narrated a book for somebody, a fictional book, factual books are different because they're very black and white, they're straightforward, and as long as you've sort of had a good look at it and you get the gist of where it's going and what it's about. But when you do a big complex book, quite a few years ago, one of the first books I did, I narrated for the Chinese market Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, which is 137 chapters and 168,000 words, I think it was. Took 3 months to do. Sometimes on a page, you'll have multiple characters talking. And when you're writing stuff, it's all going on in your wonderfully imaginative, creative brains. But when I read it, I've got to perform as each character. And I've had 5 different characters on one page having a conversation. So to do the prep to try and differentiate between the characters, keep it interesting, make it believable, and sort of sell that is a difficult part. So I've worked with authors to create a character Bible, so we know a lot more about the characters' backstory, so we can create rounded characters before we even start. So it's the prep and the time. It's really important to get this right for authors because you put your heart and soul into this. This is part of you. And as a narrator, we want to do the best job we can and make sure that you're happy. Because if you're happy, the story comes across well. And then we've also got to think about the people that are listening to it. They've got to believe in it. They've got to enjoy it. They've got to be out. It's got to be easy on the ear. You've got to be able to sustain accents or characters for a very long time. So the prep is immense. It's quite a lot of in depth. I do a lot of work before I jump in. What I don't do is I don't usually read all the book because I like to experience it as I'm going along. And then I want to get in the booth. I'm excited to record the next part because I want to know what's going on. It takes me longer to edit, but it's much more fun to do it like that. So I
Wow.
hope that explains.
Wow, that's incredibly complicated. That's 5 characters on the same page, and you have to hit all of the characters reproducibly, reliably, convincingly, just like you said. It's
Yeah.
that's
And
something that I, as a author, I think about those characters in my head.
yeah,
I've got an idea of what they're like in my head,
yeah.
but then you have to convey that on the page, and then presumably at some point to the narrator.
Yeah, you're trying to bring them to life and make sure when they're like sometimes they won't speak, they won't be in the book again for another few chapters. So you have to make little clips of each character to listen back to know how they sounded because you don't want them sounding completely different later on in the book because that would just be strange. So you need to know who these characters are as a narrator so you can slip back into character and swap characters really fast if you're having a conversation because you can't record one character at a time and then drop the rest in. You have to record it as the book is written. So
Oh, wow. And you can't just, yeah, you can't record one character at a time, like you said, and clip it all together in pieces, right?
you could,
You
but that would
probably
be a
do a
different.
little bit of that, but if you did
Yeah,
too much of it, it would be noticeable, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, I think it would be noticeable. And
Okay.
everybody I know that narrates audiobooks, we all do it the same way,
Okay. Yeah.
pretty much.
Well, when we first got onto this call, I was just incredibly impressed with your audio studio there. You got the headphones, you got the big mic, the professional looking mic.
It's a
You've
small
got
thing.
the corrugated egg crate foam in the background there to deaden sound.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Tell
Well,
us a little bit about that.
okay, well, I'll shorten this as quick as I can. But when I first started in voice acting, they always say that the mic's quite important. I've got a Neumann TLM 103, which is it's a very credible mic. A lot of professional actors use them. But I started off with a very cheap. It cost me £63 on eBay. It was a Rode NT1A, which was about $120 to buy new. And I didn't really know if I was gonna to splash out and build and buy a booth, which can cost £6,000. I didn't know if I was going to be any good at this. So I thought I'm going to have a look online and see what I need. And I bought a plastic garden shed and filled it with sound, soundproof rock wool and packing blankets. So there was no headroom. I was tucked in and I had a £63 mic and I was the voice of Jaguar Land Rover for Manhattan for 3 years with that. I did national TV adverts. I did cartoons on Netflix and Nickelodeon, and they were all recorded.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
I didn't tell anybody in a little plastic shed in the basement of our house, which is
Wow.
where I am now. But then I upgraded things. I bought an expensive microphone. I bought a really nice booth, just so I could stand up, to be honest. And it's a bit cooler.
Wow. And now, is it important that you stand up to bring out your voice better?
I think I do a lot of commercial work, which is very short, snappy, punchy character work. I do games. I've just recorded for Warhammer this week. Um, and you have to use your diaphragm if you're doing war cries or you're doing big, heavy characters. This was a big, heavy character that's in the trailer as well. And you need to, if you sit down, you're sort of squashing yourself up a little bit. And
Uh, yeah,
long
sort of
form,
like me right now. Yeah.
it's hard work doing long form, doing books, but I still stand up because you have, I think being expressive, moving your arms around, using your physical self gets the message across. You can tell if people are smiling when they're recording. That is absolutely true. You can tell.
I believe it. I believe it.
Oh, I've got some room to jump about.
This is off the cuff, but can you do a war cry for us?
I'd have to, turn, I'd have to turn my mic right down. I shall send you some.
That's
I
a,
will attack.
oh, yeah, there we go. Bravo.
Bit reined in. A bit reined in.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I've got it's your special question time,
Okay,
and I know you're ready for this.
I am.
I told you that I wanted to hear your thoughts about AI and AI voiceovers and such. Could you please tell us about your concerns with AI voice acting versus human voice? Oh, sorry, yeah, acting. I guess it's
Well,
not really that, is it? For
not really.
AI.
See, the thing is with AI is it's not artificial intelligence. It's just massive data sets and used like a search engine, but very quick and usually very specific. So their voice model training is only as good as the voices that trained it. So you're only getting that in the first place. But what AI can't do is it can't emote like a human would. It can't feel anything and it can't make a decision. So it can't decide where to leave a pause to deliver a line with gravitas or feeling or sadness. They can have emotions put into them, but the amount of time it takes to train it to do that or tell it to do that and put right. I've had people that have come to me that have tried to go down the cheaper route and having AI do an explainer video or corporate video, but the gaps are all over the place. The amount of time it's taken them to try and reconfigure it and tell the AI what to do, it was easier to get me in, pay me a little bit more money, keep it, you're creative people, authors. You want to keep creative industries alive. And AI, like I said, it's only as good as the data set that's telling it what to do. So I think for some of the kids making YouTube videos and stuff that can't afford to pay voice actors, they can find people getting into it and collaborate with them and work with them if they want to make something that's a bit more meaningful. And but I understand them paying a subscription fee, $15 a month, and then using some they can type stuff in it or just throw it out. I can understand that. And I've heard some that are terrible and I've heard some that are really good. But when it comes to audiobooks, you've spent so much time as authors putting your heart and soul and everything you believe and feel into this writing. Why would you throw it away and let a robot do it? Why would you do that? There's no point doing that. People it's been proven many a time now that people don't like listening to AI. You can tell it's AI after a while. It becomes very monotonous. They'll say the same phrases exactly the same way, and it's not just me saying the same phrase a different way, it's identical. And that's noticeable,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, because you can
absolutely.
have the same phrase said 15 times. The AI will say it exactly the same. I'll say it different 15 times, you know, and that's the thing. And even with, ACX and you can still do profit shares with people. I know a narrator that's got his own fan base and people, authors will go to him. He's got a massive wait list, probably 2 or 3 years now,
Oh, wow.
and because they love the way he talks and he builds up, he's got his own fan base. So authors are coming to him and saying, I've got a series of books. Will you do it on a profit share? He's like, yep, that's fine. Because he knows that the authors are going to put the effort. If you believe in an author and you have a good connection with them, then we'll do it. The narrators will take the risk on a profit share with the author and split the profits, and then you get a professional job done. It can work both ways.
Yeah,
You know, it hasn't always got to be the easy route, stick an AI on it, because I don't think you're achieving anything doing that. I don't think it's I don't think it's fair on the authors. It's not right on the authors. You deserve better. There's
yeah,
ways of doing it and negotiating, but doing it AI, there's a reason it's free. Doing it free, there's a reason it's free
yeah. You get
because
what you
people
pay
aren't
for, right? You
exactly.
get what you pay for.
I've got a nice studio, nice microphones. It all costs thousands of pounds. It's to make sure that when I'm recording, it sounds great and
Yeah.
people enjoy it and it's easy on the ear. Okay, so Rick, it's time I ask you a question. So I hear that you've got your first draft complete of your book. So can you tell me what it's all about?
Well, you know how authors are. When you ask them what your book is about, they go into a 2 hour
How long?
lecture.
How long have we got?
Exactly. Exactly. So I'll do the best I can. It's a political sci-fi satire, if you can imagine that,
Sounds amazing.
of something that is as close to modern day United States of America as you can imagine, and the president who's currently in office is satired as the bad guy. A collection of odd people are put together. Uh, thrown together by chance, honestly. And the book is tentatively called The Blink of Humanity. It's how a tipping point occurs when so many things pile up into a mountain of wrong that all it takes sometime is a spark or a tip to tip over the world.
Well, yeah, it's a bit
And so
close
that's
to
what the
home.
book is about.
Right. Wonderful. I know you've done your first draft, so can I just ask the question, how long does it take from first draft to getting your book, out?
This was a work of passion, so it didn't take very long at
Oh,
all.
right.
It went, I began in November and I finished 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. So that's about 6 months, I guess, 7 months
Oh,
maybe.
that's great.
Yeah, when I get motivated by a book and a plot and the characters and they all start coming together, I move fairly quickly and I can't let it go. It's like a dog with a bone or something like that. I'm just gnawing away at it until it gets done.
Brilliant. Sounds great.
So, all right, time for one for you.
Okay.
So you're constantly marketing your talent for a living. What is the most important thing that you've learned as a voice actor that might help authors market their brand, their book, their talents?
Well, networking's always great, but I think one of the things it's knowing your audience, it's knowing who's going to be buying what you've got to sell and where are they? What do they do? What do they watch? Where do they hang out? And then when you understand who you want to pitch to, it's finding out where they are and sometimes thinking outside the box to get to them. You know, you've got to understand
Yeah,
the people that you're writing these books for.
yeah,
And once you know more about the people, that's blanket marketing. You can spend as much money as you want, but if you can target market these people, then you're going to you're going to get a lot better return on investment. So you write novels for different clientele sometimes. So it's knowing who they are, where they are, and what do they do, and sort of going about it that way.
nice.
Which I'm sure all the authors do anyway.
Uh, I've written one book and published it, so I'm still a novice. And part of the purpose of this podcast is to uh, help me learn as much as I can maybe help others learn and make connections that I need to make as well as other authors. So uh, that's sort of the intent of this whole thing is, number one, I have a lot to learn and I love doing it by talking to people. And
That's
if it
great.
gets recorded and shared, then that's a plus. So, all right.
Should add to that. Should add to that. Start a podcast.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that. I'll figure that out. Yeah. Put that on the
You've
beginning.
got time. When you've got time.
So, do you have a website where you're located on social media or more than one, obviously, probably?
I just have one website and all my demos and bits and pieces are all downloadable on there, delaross.com. Very easy to
It
remember.
is
Just
very easy. Thank you all for watching another episode of Authors Learning Something New. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give Paul a call if you need your book narrated, or if you need games narrated, or whatever you need narrated. uh, Give him a call.
I'll try my best.
And hopefully, this will be the next book that you read, uh, Children of the Scroll. Thanks for watching, guys.